Hi, Ginger. This is Abigail Sloane.
Hi, Abigail. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just cold. I'm in Michigan. Where are you at?
I'm on Vashon Island, and I'm just as cold.
Oh,
It's pouring down rain.
yeah, it is here too. Cold in the rain. I can
Yeah,
already predict, I gotta keep away from people with colds and sneezing.
exactly. Cold and dry is one thing, but cold and wet is a whole nother game.
I know it's so like you just walk out and it's so dreary
Yeah,
and you run from your house to your car. It's
right?
yeah, it's miserable.
Oh,
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you. I've never talked to you before, and so we get to learn more about you. So I guess I'll start with where are you from and how did you start singing?
oh boy. I am from Vashon Island, Washington. It's a little teeny tiny island tucked away between Seattle and Tacoma.
Okay.
And I started singing. Wait, I can't remember when I started singing. I knew I was humming before I was speaking. My mom has proof of that. But yeah, I was humming before I could speak, and then it just kind of came naturally. I started singing for anybody. I started singing country music, actually, which was funny. I was raised on country music, and Brooks and Dunn was kind of the first stuff I started singing, along
Yeah.
with the Donut Man and Salty and, everything
Wow.
else.
Well, that's funny that you say that because that's one of the things when I was listening to your music is I was like, she's just a little bit country. Like
Just a little bit,
it's
yeah.
not it's very subtle, but I'm from Texas, so I can pick it up a mile away. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I heard just a slight bit of country. It's kind of like me. I've lived in Michigan long enough to lose my accent for the most part, but every once in a while that, especially after I've talked to my relatives, that little bit of twang starts coming out. But I could hear
No, I
that.
love it.
I hear you have that country influence for sure. It's subtle, but it's still there. I really love it. I'm curious as who kind of like besides that was like your like singing influences because I have a singer that I thought you sounded like, so I'm curious to find out who was kind of your main influences in singing.
Oh boy, just about anyone I could get my hands on, and it ranged. It was anything from Ella Fitzgerald to Reba McEntire to Idina Menzel to like anything I could get my hands on. I was listening to when I was growing up. It was definitely a lot more Reba, a lot of old school country singers.
Little Martina, did you like her?
Oh, I love Martina McBride. I love Martina McBride. Let me tell you something about Martina McBride. I fell in love with that woman at a very young age. Her Christmas album is the epitome of Christmas for me.
Have you seen her live?
I haven't, and it frustrates me.
I saw her Christmas tour one year,
Oh,
and I went with a friend that did it as like a Christmas present to me, and
yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not an entirely huge fan of Christmas music, only because we get inundated with it, during
Oh, yeah.
for like 3 months of the year. It's just over and over and over. But I'm telling you, she sang "Oh Holy Night" with no instruments, and there was probably 10,000 people in there, and you could heard a pin drop. No one was talking. People were crying.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
that last note, I mean, I had chills. I thought I was going to faint. She is, she is better live, honestly. I mean, as good as she sounds, no, I don't think there's a piece of recording equipment that can do her justice when she sings because she's so much more than country music.
Yeah.
She's just phenomenal as a singer, and she just seems so gracious and adorable when she's on stage and talks, and I don't know, you just want to be her best friend
Exactly.
as just sit in adoration while she's singing.
Yeah. Like, I'm your number one fan. Can I also be your BFF?
Yeah. Like in a creepy way, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're BFFs, you just don't know it.
Yeah, exactly. You're just not there yet. I'll give you time.
Well, I'm curious to know if you even have heard of the girl that I think you sound like. Have you ever heard of Christy Starling?
I haven't. The name sounds really familiar, though.
Okay, now you have to look her up.
Okay.
She sang one of Leanne Rimes' old songs, "How Will I Live Without You?" You know,
I
um,
love that song. No lie, that was
uh,
my song. When I was 8 years old, I had a karaoke machine that had 3 karaoke songs on it. My Heart Will Go On, How Do I Live, and something else. But How Do I Live was my 8 years old karaoke song every single time.
Um, she is she's phenomenal. She did a song called Broken, and I encourage you to look that song up in particular because it kind of,
Okay.
like the instruments are a little bit more subdued and you can hear her voice, but it's a song about, she's at that point, where we get sometimes where like her world has just fallen apart and she's like, I've tried it basically my way. I have my life is in pieces, just shattered, and I'm broken, but I'm finally ready for you to pick up the pieces and put me back together. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. You will like cry, but she's really, really talented. But there's a sound. It's kind of you sing like her. It's kind of breathy and light. I don't know. It's kind of relaxing. It's just very, very soothing and just kind of a soft sound, even softer than like a Carrie Jove. It's just a very, and it doesn't smack you in the face.
No,
It's just
I
one of
love it.
those like very laid back, relaxing voices. And you have a new album out, Reason and Rhyme, and
Yes, ma'am.
my favorite song is You Know Me, but you probably have your own favorites. But that's the one that I don't know if it was the lyrics or that plus the way you were singing on that particular song. But I love that song. I really like them all, but that particular song I was a big fan of. But tell us
Thank you.
about, this is your first album, so what was it like?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Slash really nerve wracking. I had I had just come out of a really kind of dark season of my life, and I honestly just didn't know what was around the corner. I had no idea what was going to come next, and if I was ready for it or anything. And my mom had said, "I sent your demo to Nashville. I did it." I was like, "What are you
That's
talking
oh my
about?"
gosh, tell your mom I love her. That's totally me. My son's your age. I would totally do that if he's saying something.
Right?
I would do it.
Well, it's just so funny because she knew I wouldn't do it. So she goes, "I sent your demo to Nashville, and they wanna do it for real." And I was like, okay,
I'm kind of
sure,
mad, but thank
what?
you.
I was so confused, but I got the call from Eric Copeland with Creative Soul Records, and he said, "The next thing is you fly out here and we record this thing for real." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." And I hopped on a jet in March of this year and went down, and I worked with some really awesome people. Jonathan Crone was the engineer on the album, and I got to tell you,
He's
I had not
legendary.
worked with
Yeah.
a nicer person before. I it was so relaxing. It was so normal. It was like, "Hey, come on in, do this thing. Like, you're one of us now." It was very, very surreal for me to be working with such talented people and such industry people too. They knew what they were doing, what they were talking about, and for them to look at me and say, "Your music is something we want to work on," was huge. It was super humbling. I was like, "All right, okay, Lord, this is 100% you. This could not have been done by anyone else. So you're going to have to take it from here." And since then, it's just been a whirlwind, honestly.
And so the moral of the story is God's always right, and so are mothers. So
Yes, exactly. God is always right, and so are moms. I need that on a t shirt.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're like, I owe everything to God. Footnote: Mom's always awesome.
It's true.
Now are you 23? Is that what I read?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, thank you for saying yes, man. I'm from the South, and I have 3 kids that are 19, 22, and my son is 23, and he's single, by the way. Just kidding. Um, I have to throw that in there anytime there's, a beautiful girl my son's age. But what's funny is, uh, this is like a difficult age. It's that time in your life where, I don't know, between 18 and 25, to me is that time in your life where you're like, I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm really not feeling that adulting thing yet.
Exactly. I'm not ready to be an adult.
And but I don't exactly know where God wants me, or like what path. Am I going to be a firefighter? Am I going to be an astronaut? Am I going to be a singer? Or am I going, am I going to be a janitor? I don't know. Like, I mean, you really just want to go where God wants you, but but also if you have a passion for something, it kind of sidetracks you, and you're like, well, I may be called to do this, but I kind of really like doing this. So
Yeah, no.
John Schlitt of Petra said, you know, he always says, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So I
Exactly.
pray that this continues, and this is actually your job. So because where you're passionate, and it's not a job anymore, and it'll come across in every single that you do and every concert that you do. So I mean, you're really green. I mean, this is like your first album, and so are you starting to tour yet? Are you doing dates yet?
Oh goodness. Not yet. At this point, it's if somebody wants me to come sing, I'll come sing.
And they can find you on your website, and make sure I got this website right. It's Abigail Sloane with an E.com.
AbigailSloaneMusic.com. Yeah.
Okay, see, that's why I always ask. Abigail AbigailSloaneMusic.com. And it's Sloane
Yes.
with an E, because I always have to make sure the spelling is right. And your album is available currently, right, on iTunes and all the great places.
Yeah, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play's got it. I mean, it's crazy where it's at right now.
Now, I'm curious because something else you have in common with my son besides your age is um, my son battled depression really, really hard, and I see that that was something that you faced. I'm curious to know how that factored into how your music came together.
Oh man, everything on that album is birthed from some aspect of my depression. The Reason in Rhyme song, I wrote that my freshman year of high school, and I was just coming out of depression slash trying to live a normal life slash relying on Jesus slash trying to do it on my own. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a mixture of trying to now figure this out, and I remember a pastor had preached this sermon on, have you ever been asking Jesus for something and it doesn't seem like he's coming through for you, and then at the last second when you don't expect it, he just comes through in this big way. And I was like, yeah. And that night I remember writing the first verse and the chorus to Reason and Rhyme, because I was like, you've put me here, but I don't understand why, and I'm not getting it, and I don't see the process, and I don't see the road, and you're not showing me anything. I'm a big control freak. So to not have the next step was really, really hard for me. And he was like, you don't understand what I'm doing right now, but you have to be patient, because what I'm going to do is so much bigger than what you've already faced.
Right.
And what you've faced is going to bring you into this season equipped to battle what you're going to face, and what's down the road.
And it's like the beauty for ashes. He trades that darkness and those hard times into something beautiful, and at the time you can't imagine anything good ever coming out of it. You only see, I mean, it's so hard to see any light for there's so much darkness when you go through that. It's hard to see even a candlelight. It's hard to find any hope, and that's something that speaks to so many kids. I mean, I've been in this world almost half a century now, and I have never seen so much suicide and so much depression. And I don't know, social media and technology has kind of maybe bolstered that a little bit, because people are you got a lot of bullies that are bullying from behind a Facebook profile or some place where they don't have to look you in the face and bully you. So there's so much more pressure, I think. My kids, watching my kids go through stuff, I was constantly going, man, I never even remotely would have faced that. I mean, in a day and age where everybody's recording or taking a photo of everything. I mean, I can't imagine going through that, at those ages.
It's terrifying, and to think that, to think that our children are facing that now. I mean, when I was dealing with it, everybody had to insult you to your face. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just how it was. If they wanted to find something wrong with you, they found something wrong with you and told it to your face. I can't imagine having someone anonymously tell me these things. Like, that would be very difficult. And for some kids, man, that's all they're inundated with. It's all they're inundated with.
And
It's just constant, bullying from one side or the other. And some get it every single day, day in, day
yeah.
out at school. And I'm sick of reading headlines of, teenager kills themselves because of X, Y, and Z. It grieves my heart.
Because at the time, I'm sure you realize now that you're in your 20s, when you're in middle school to high school, everything seems so much bigger than it really is.
Everything.
Everything is, if you're in love, you're so in love you can't see straight. Or if you're sad, you're so sad you can't see straight. It's, and even, there's all these negative messages, but also my 19-year-old was well, she has been a model off and on, and she's really, really beautiful in the way that the world thinks is beautiful at this moment. Long hair, tan, tall, just has, thin, just very beautiful. And she was sad one day because she took a photo that she was proud, like she had done her hair, like curled it and everything, and she took a picture and put it on Instagram, and she only got, she was like walking around like moping around the house and sad. And I asked her what was wrong, and she wouldn't tell me. And finally, it came out later that she only got 20 likes on Instagram for that photo, and she was depressed because people didn't, weren't liking that photo. And I'm like, so it goes both ways,
Yeah.
the positive stuff that people put. It's not even real people half the time, it's just people clicking. Ooh, she's hot. Click, click, click. But then if they move on to whoever else is next, then all that attention, people don't know how to come down from that high. They're being told how beautiful and amazing they are, and then the humility kicks in, and then it's such a drop sometimes that, and like I said, it seems bigger at that time. And I think that's a great platform for you to use in your concerts. There's girls, whether it's body image or guy pressure, guys are, girls are pressury too. I'm not saying it's not the other way, but the way that they have to dress or talk, or whether they have Instagram likes or whatever the case is, there's so much pressure. And I think that you
Yeah.
could speak to a lot of girls, because I know that, once you went into a depression, it wasn't like you popped out and told everybody, what, I'm depressed. Hey guys, I'm depressed. You don't want to say anything, and it's a hard thing to come out and tell people that you are going through or have been through a depression. But for you to share that on the stage, because I will tell you that kids, when they're in the audience, they see you up on stage singing, and they imagine that your life has always been this picture, this pretty girl on the stage that can sing, and she gets to go do concerts, and she has an album, like they see this thing that they think is a perfect little package. But when you like become real with them and tell them, what you went through and why these songs came out, then you could be a humongous impact on young girls. So, I mean, that's my encouragement to you. I think, to take something that you went through that God can use for his glory.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I've looked at it my entire life. I used to tell my mom, I said, "Mom, I don't have a testimony. The Lord never gave me a testimony. I never struggled with drugs. I never struggled with alcohol. I never struggled with all these things. Like, I can't have a testimony." And she goes, "Baby girl, look at your life. Look at where the Lord has brought you from. If you share that with someone who's sad or someone who's struggling, you have a story to share there." And I honestly can't wait for it.
Well, I think your mom and I would be good friends. I think we could be BFFs. So, give her my number, tell her to hit me up because I think her and I could be BFFs.
Absolutely.
Thank you to your mom. What's your mom's name?
Jonna.
Jonna?
Yes.
That is the coolest name. Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Well,
I love it.
thank you, Jonna, for, going behind your daughter's back and sending her music to Nashville because I would have done it too.
Oh.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm so excited that, your album is out. So everybody go to Abigail Sloane with an E, music.com, or also go to, iTunes, Google Play, whatever your phone or device is, and download Reason and Rhyme. And it's an amazing album, and the messages are really beautiful, and the singing is just very soft and beautiful, but with a tad bit of country, which is all. That's all I. That's what I need. That's my home state. So
Yes.
it's funny because you're from Washington, so you know
It is quite hilarious, actually.
that's okay. We'll make you an honorary Southerner. With you got
Well,
just enough Southern in your voice.
well, thank you. I'll take it.
Well, thank you for taking time to talk to us, and we'll share your information and music. And we have your music now, so we can play it. And we're just very thankful to have you on the air, and excited to get more music from you. And thank you for sharing your testimony. And I look forward to you booking some dates around so we can come see you.
Well, thank you so much, Ginger. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ginger.
Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon. Hopefully, we'll get some more cool news about you. I'm sure after the new year, after the Christmas music dies down.
Yeah, slowly.
Oh yeah, but we will share the interview, and I was just excited to talk to you for the first time. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.